Welcome back to Just a Cup on the Bleav Network, where we talk performance, resilience, mindset that travels when the lights get the brightest. I'm your host, Bryan Fetzer, and today's guest, and I'm going to try to do it with a little bit of an accent, Ryan Medrano.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's
a
pretty good.
little bit.
Sounded a little Italian, but
A little
it
bit
works.
Italian, not so much Spanish, but the Paralympic two-time silver medalist. We're going to be digging into his journal. Kind of the uniqueness of the Paralympic sport and the business side. We're going to talk sponsorships, partnerships, and kind of where the movement goes from here. Remember, you can always watch and subscribe. You can watch on YouTube. You can check us out in the audio version if you like the old podcast form on the Bleav Network. And we're going to get right into it, coming live from El Paso, Texas. Ryan, hey, I appreciate you jumping on. It's definitely inspiring, encouraging, and exciting. But I want to know, when did the switch flip from I'm competing so I can be world class?
I'm gonna be honest. As soon as Noel came to me when I was in Survivor, you might know my story, you might not if you're tuning in. But born with mild cerebral palsy since birth, or born with mild cerebral palsy. Found out about 10 months in that I had it, and they said I'd never walk. After 4 years of therapy, every Thursday for 2 hours or more every week, I started walking at around four. After that, my parents really didn't put too much attention. I was just a clumsy child. I was a little bit cognitively slower because I had to use more of my brain to process what I was doing. But from the outside world looking in, I was normal. I could compensate well. So growing up, I really just pushed myself to be the best, whatever I did. I was a middle child, always wanted attention, military child. So we adapted really quickly. We always tried to outdo each other. So when I met Noel on Survivor, after we both got voted out, I was just in this high competitive, high stress, just crazy experience out there doing my best, swimming and fishing for 3 4 hours. And when I got voted off, I was like, I had this distinct urge to beat somebody at something. I literally started training immediately for just started training. I didn't know what for, but I was like, I got to keep this feeling alive. So I would lift weights, walk up this huge hill that we had in Fiji with all the weights that they had on my back, do 100 squats at the top, come back down. And luckily that next day, well, I wish she, got a little bit further, but next day she gets voted off. She comes to me and goes, "You're I'm in the Paralympics. You could run in the Paralympics. You have mild cerebral palsy, right?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, I'm a Paralympian. You could do what I do. I saw you just kick ass out on the island. You could run in the Paralympics. You could do great." So we started training with each other immediately. I was starstruck. I'm sitting here training with a world class athlete. Like, I at that point understood this is somebody at the pinnacle of her sport, and I get to train next to her. That's amazing. But immediately my brain, my mindset goes, what is the world record? It wasn't how good can I get? It's how hard do
Mhm.
I have to work to beat that world record? And she connected me with Chris, which you know. And that was one of the first things I asked him is, what is the world record for the 100 meter? Because in the beginning, I only knew that there was a 100 meter. I learned later, when I competed at nationals, that there was the 400 and the long jump, which I entered in with no training. Like I said, same price for three events, say less. And I ended up becoming the national long jump champion that year. And my 400 was good enough as well as my 100 to qualify me for Paris World Championships. But immediately my mindset isn't let me do my best. It's how much effort, how much determination, how consistent do I have to be the best, not do my best. I'm trying to beat
Mhm.
everybody. I'm trying to beat myself every day. And that takes a lot of different perspectives. That takes understanding that I am learning. I have to be coachable. I have to be able to take a step back. I have to be able to rebound from shortcomings, which happens. Like world championships this year, I placed fourth in the 400. I overthought. I was trying to be too technical with my 400 rather than just straight to the wall, pedal to the metal. And it is an eye opener. It allows you to go, hey, you can lose, you can win, which is great, but use this and learn from it. So to answer your question, take that whole long answer from the beginning. My mom just the other day was like, "You did so great. You're," because I'm trying new stuff to lose weight during my off season, and she's like, "You're second in the world. That's amazing." I was like, "Yeah, but it's not enough." And her face was like what? I was like, "Mom, you don't understand. I'm like this close to being number one in the world several times, all the time. I race Jaden all the time." And I am that close. It's right there. I can taste it. And I'm not the type to be like, oh, second's good enough. I mean, there's people out there, and I've had talks to Paralympians that, their goal is the Paralympics, their goal is a medal. They don't care what color. But I'm like, why not go for gold? I mean, at least there was a feather. Why not go for gold if you push yourself to the absolute limit and learn each day and take those shortcomings and turn them into learning experiences? Not only are you going to surprise yourself, but you're going to surprise and inspire others to do the same.
That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to take we're going to go back now. I was going to wait for the next segment to talk more about it. But we're just going to dive right in, and Survivor, obviously wildly popular television show. How did that transpire? Even before, I mean, you kind of how to get to the Paralympic part was one thing, but how did you get to the Survivor part to be on the show and be a part of that?
So my significant other at the time, she was obsessed with Survivor. Like every night, I'd be like, "Oh, what do you want to watch?" She'd be like, "Survivor," and I would see it, and I'd be, "I can do that. I could, I could so do that." And this is before pandemic. And then after pandemic, they shortened it to 29 days. I was like, "I could definitely do that." So I applied. I got my casting producer called me like the next day, and apparently that doesn't happen for people that apply to Survivor. I didn't even tell my full story. I just said, "Hey guys, I'm Ryan Medrano. I'm in the backyard with my brother. This is our boot camp for Survivor. We had gym equipment. Our shirts are off. We're high energy." Literally, my brother doesn't say a word. He just goes and it said, "I'm Ryan Medrano. This is our backyard boot camp. This is why I'm gonna be great at Survivor. I'm gonna kick butt in this. I do this. I do that, and all the other stuff." And he took that. He saw that. He called me. We spoke for about 30 minutes the next day, and he was legitimately real with me. He heard my story. He goes, "I believe you should be on Survivor. I believe you are perfect for this season of Survivor, the people we're looking for." But I'm going to be honest with you, there's no secret McDonald's. People starve out there, they get parasites, they get hurt. Like, it's real. I said, "That's great. I love it." He goes, "Okay, well, best case scenario, you're on an island somewhere or somewhere in the wild. Worst case scenario, you're back at your everyday jobs." Okay, no risk, no reward. But
Right.
in my head, it was the fear of applying is what I think stops most people. The fear of being rejected, and I thought, just like he said, what's the worst? I make a video and spend 10, 15 minutes having fun with this experience, making this video with my brother, and nothing comes from it. Or I make this video, somebody sees it and they reach out like they did. And after the interviewing process and meeting Jeff, approached and meeting him, and that was fantastic. We had a fantastic Zoom call, and it was cool to meet him. And oddly enough, I complimented his crown molding in the room he was in because I do carpentry work. So like, I know this is weird, but that is amazing crown molding. He's like, "Oh, thank you." A lot of people notice it. Um, but that whole experience itself, just getting to Survivor, I think a strong suit that I have, the perspective that I have is enjoying, and this really helped me submit that I'd already believed. But it really helped me go, yeah, this is an easier way to do things instead of stressing about what if,
Right.
oh, I have another interview, oh, what if this doesn't pan out? Take the time to enjoy the experience you are having. Each person that interviewed me, they had their own story, they had their own opinions, they had their own facial expressions and their laughter
Right.
from my stories. And I enjoyed that experience. And I think it was that genuine authenticity of being immersed in what was happening in that moment, focusing on not necessarily my performance as an athlete. That's what you do as an athlete. You try to focus on the performance to get a better outcome.
Right.
I was just focusing on the experience of what was happening between each person I was talking with in that
Right.
build up to being on the show. And eventually I got a call and was on the show. And I continued to really hone in on that feeling of enjoying the experience, wanting to provide when I was on Survivor. That was my main thing. I don't like lying. I don't like cheating. So when I was on there, I was like, I'm going to be the most genuine, authentic version of myself. And in that, my game plan was provide and make sure everybody's like happy and comfortable so that
Mhm.
there's less likeliness for arguments. If everybody's having fun, those talks of, oh, who's going to vote out, it's going to be a little bit easier. You don't have that
Right.
necessarily stress like, oh, we have food in our stomachs, we can think clearly. I just went out there and I had a ton of fun. I got to spearfish in Fiji. I climbed a coconut tree. I had a worm at one point. I slept on the beach. There's a story that not many people get to hear about Survivor. And there was this night me and Gio, you'll see him, my papaya brother. We were deathly afraid of centipedes. These things were nasty looking,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're sleeping on the beach, and we hear this on the palm fronds on our lean-to, and I was like, "Oh, it gotta be a centipede. It's gone. It's gonna be a centipede." And he's like, "I can't fall asleep. It's pitch black, no moon, the new moon, so there's no moon out. The only light you get is in this lightning storm a few miles out into the ocean." And we're just sitting here. Oh, I can't fall asleep. So eventually, I'm sitting here. I'm about to fall asleep, and something scratches my arm, and I'm like, "Ah!" I wake up and I just realized I don't even think this mic is on. I think you're going through the mic on my. Yep, there we go. Now
It's
it is.
all good. All
um,
good.
so I realize I'm sitting here and I'm trying to sleep, and about doze off, and this claw touches my elbow, and I freak out. I'm like, "Ah!" So I smooth out the sand, and I can't see anything. It's pitch black. So then I'm dozing off. Another 30 minutes later, same thing happens. This time I smooth out the sand, and I'm just staring. And all of a sudden, lightning strikes and it lights up the beach. And there's this crab just sitting there, like, oh God, he can see me. I grabbed him, smushed his head so he didn't have to suffer, put him in the sea water, put him on the fire, and then woke Gio up about 2 minutes later. Hey, Gio, you want some crab legs? He's like, yeah, sure. So it
That's
was a
awesome.
crab.
That's
Like,
awesome.
that was one of my favorite stories is just the random things. Like one time I'm spearfishing and I see a shark, black-tipped reef shark. So they're very friendly. They're not,
Right.
territorial. So luckily I had an understanding that it wasn't like all sharks are gonna eat you. They're more like sea dogs that
Mhm.
don't have
Yep.
hands. So we gotta, so I'm sitting here, but of course your first reaction when you're spearfishing with a snorkel and goggles and you see a shark and you're out in the water is like, what? So I come up and I look at the camera and I said, "Do you see that shark?" He goes, he goes, "Nah." I was like, "He is way too calm. I need to chill." So I just went back to went back to fishing for the
Wow.
next 3 hours. Yeah, so it was an experience, and I think for me, a lot of that experience was the raw and realness of being
Mm.
out there and surviving. The cool part of the challenges were fantastic.
Yeah.
You saw it.
Absolutely.
I love the challenges. I love the social aspect, but the realness of they don't give you food. They don't give you anything.
Right.
So the satisfaction of going, "Hey guys, I just caught 21 fish, and I taught Noel how to descale and gut fish out there," and being able to connect with people in this raw form, like within 24 hours, I was already not even 24 hours. First time I get on the beach, you and I are digging at one of the challenges, and I'm in my underwear already. Like you bond with people so quickly when you throw these social norms out the window of, oh, we got to wear clothes, this and that. No, I'm trying to survive. Okay, it's hot out here. There's sand everywhere. I'm gonna be in my underwear. So the aspect of Survivor itself was a fantastic experience. I would do it all over again. I really would. This time though, if I got on again, I would not be playing as the nice Ryan. People would see the nice Ryan, but behind the scenes, I would be bobbing and weaving like Gabler
Getting things
did.
done. How has that experience on Survivor translated into dealing with the craziness of competitions? I mean, going to the Paralympics, right? Or going to the World Championships, and seeing how kind of things don't always go smooth. They kind
Mm.
of are all over the place. did that experience on Survivor, help mindset wise a little bit?
So I would say one of the things in Survivor, the marooning, where we had to race into the beach, and you hear Jeff say for the first time, "Survivors, are you ready?" It is like, oh God, this is happening. Like Paralympic, same thing. That feeling, but you have trained for it. You know what you're doing. You've
Right.
set up, you've done your blocks 1,000 times. You've ran as fast as you possibly can down the track. It's 10 seconds, you know, but you don't get that preparation for Survivor. Every time you go into the challenge, it's brand new. I mean, some people are die hard and they create things in their backyard. But all I was able to do was practice fire making and practice swimming. Like, that's about it. So having that experience of all these cameras around you, it's you versus everybody else's
Right.
best is it was nerve wracking. And to be able to go, okay, all you can do is your best. All you can do is put it out there, pay attention to what's going on, make the decision you can make in this moment. And I think that translates not only to track. I think as humans, we fail to recognize that everybody has been through their own experiences. They have their own mindset and their own perspective of what is happening right in front of them. So everybody's decision, for the most part, most people are making what they think is the best decision in that moment. And I think recognizing that either an athlete, coworker, family member, loved one, it
Right.
allows you to take a step back and go, okay, we're all just out here
Mhm.
trying to survive, like Survivor, day to day, whether it's in an office, at home, on the track. We're just trying to do the best we can for the most part from what we have here. So it definitely helped, in my opinion.
That's an awesome way to kind of put it all together and kind of share. That's pretty awesome. It's a great kind of thought process out of it for sure. Hey, we're going to take a real quick break. We're going to come back and we're going to go to the second part of the show, and we're going to really kind of dive into the Paralympic experience and just kind of talk a little bit more about the sport and everything. This episode of Just a Cup is powered by Iron Faith Nutrition, holistic faith-based formulas for real-world performance, from curcumazyme for inflammation and recovery to Vitamin Plus Herbs, the most complete liquid multivitamin on the planet. Build a better and smarter stack at ironfaithnutrition.com. Hey, don't forget to subscribe on Bleav and on YouTube so you never miss a cup. Hey, we are here, and my absolutely incredible guest, and I'll try not to use the Italian accent as I at the start of the show.
Take two.
Yeah, Ryan Medrano is just we talked about Survivor. We've talked about the origin story of him getting into the Paralympic movement. So one thing that most people don't understand about the athletic pipeline is kind of the classification, the selection process, and qualifying quickly. Can you kind of just glance over what that is specifically to Paralympics?
All right. That is actually a fantastic question, Brian. Um, Classification allows athletes to be classified, obviously, in their different impairments or disabilities, whether it is a spinal injury, whether it's an amputee, whether it is visually impaired, or neurologically impaired, like myself. To give you a reference, myself, I have mild cerebral palsy, and it impedes my passive range of motion. In classification, they have you do a certain amount of range of motion exercises to see what your body's able to do. They have you relax and move, and my arm actually moves like a clock because it's not smooth when it's relaxing because my brain's always stimulating my neurological system. Oh, geez. Um, so in this, they do this test to see how impaired you are. In that, they take that information and then they watch you compete or watch you do your jumps. If you jump, your jumps and your runs, and you have to run a certain percentage of your personal record. In this, they're able to go, okay, we can see from his performance here and from his impairment test, or they have a specific word for it. I cannot remember it right now. But from the neurological test we were doing earlier, he is in this classification. Now, a lot of people have different perspectives of classification, but because, especially in the 38, 37, 36, and 35, my range group goes from 38 to 35, 35 being the most impaired, 38 being the most able-bodied or least impaired.
Mhm.
Um, it is hard, in my opinion, to find a perfect way to classify people, because everybody is different. Each person has different impairment. I have a friend in Australia. We were talking when we were in India, Akeisha Snowden, and she was intrigued by the fact that I was telling her about how my impairment affects me and has certain pains that are random throughout the
Mhm.
day and the things that bother me. And she's like, "See, I don't have any of that." I was like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah, no, I don't have that. Obviously, my body is tighter than yours, and my physical output is different. She's in the 37 classification, so she's more impaired, but she doesn't have the pains that I have or the migraines that I experience when I push too hard. So
Mm.
if two people can be so different, like in their impairment, it is very hard to classify, um, specifically. It's very broad.
Right.
So they do their best in classification to be able to pair you up with individuals that are in the same impairment group as you, so you do not have a disadvantage or an advantage in that class.
Mm.
Now, to qualify for things like world championships, nationals, and international competition, Paralympic works off of standards. You take a average time, if, and they just recently changed it, but it's an average time of some of the best times in the last couple competitions. So if we take, I think it's the top three or the top four from Paris Paralympics, and you average that, then you get something of the A standard, which is
Mm.
the higher tier list.
Right.
When you go to nationals, you want to hit that A standard or above that A standard. There are many athletes, myself, Jaden Blackwell, tons of our athletes that hit over A standard. So it's
Right.
101%, 102%. They take that, and based off the amount of slots we have, they pick the team off of the best probability of securing medals for Team USA. So depending on if you're throwing, if you're running, you go and you go towards that percentage of what is an average of the world's best times or throws or distances. So that's how you would qualify. And then to actually make the team, like let's say you haven't made the team, you go from going to nationals, making an international team, and then you have to hit that standard again internationally, and then you have a
And then
spot
you're on.
and making monetary, like actually making money. So a lot of people don't understand. Like I had a coworker that was like, "Yeah, I thought you were gonna come back from the Paralympics and quit." I was like, "Yeah, no, I gotta work a day job. 80% of Olympians and Paralympians are underneath the poverty line here." So
Which
yeah,
is so sad.
yeah.
That is it. Well, it's always been frustrating and blows my mind that we can generate so much revenue through the Olympic Games, through all of that process, and the people that don't benefit from it is the actual people that are competing. It's everybody else. I mean, I would say some negative things about some organizations, and I'll just keep my mouth shut on that. But because I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So let's talk about big stage mindset, right? Final, pre-final routine, music, breathing, as their self-talk. What kind of goes through your mind before you get ready to step on the line, just like you did in Japan?
So one of the things I do, and it starts even the day before, leading up days before, getting off the plane, moving while you're in travel, making sure you're hydrated, making sure your sleep wake cycle is right when you get to where you're going, getting acclimated. Those are all things that allow you to have confidence on the line. Have confidence when you're warming up. Is preparing yourself days before, making sure your nutrition's right, making sure you're sleeping and waking on time, making sure you're going to mobility each morning, even if you don't want to wake up at 7:45 because you don't race until later. It is a collective effort, one step towards your goal each day leading up to competition and way before competition. Because if you skipped out on half your training sessions, never did mobility, always ate like crap, when you get to that line, you're going to be pretty nervous. You're going to have a lot of self doubt. But if you did what you could when life throws stuff at you, because it happens, if you did your best and did as much as you could leading up to that, and give yourself grace because we're human, we're not perfect. Um, it helps way more than you think, having that mindset of, okay, I did as much as I can. Now I'm just going to follow my routine. I'm not going to change anything up. That's something that Chris has taught me is be yourself, be as comfortable as you can be like you are when you're home. So even in the call room, I not necessarily talk to everybody, but I am up. I am smiling. I am like ready. I am zoned in. Of course, I'm thinking about what I need to do, but I'm not changing my brain chemistry. I'm not changing this mindset that I have because I'm going to perform how I practice, and I practice in this mindset of let's get it. Like, oh, I just ran this fast because I have a timing system here. I train on my own. Let's see if I can get it faster. So
Right.
leading up, I get proper sleep, I get proper nutrition. I'll wake up early enough to get creatine in because creatine has certain
Mhm.
time limits of absorption for better
Right.
cognitive performance. So if let's say I have to compete at 8, I want about 3 hours before that to consume my creatine. So I'll wake up at
Mm.
5, drink some creatine, go back to sleep for a little bit, and it works.
No, hey, it's
Like,
a smart play for sure.
so I think making yourself knowledgeable on how the body works and how your body works and being fluid with that and consistent allows you to know, hey, when I do A, B, C, and D throughout, I am going to be more efficient on the line. I'm going to have that confidence to really stay in the zone. And as soon as that gun goes off, I'm going to take off. And it allows you to have that confidence to go, I have done everything that I can do. All that's left is to perform.
Okay, let's talk. That's, I mean, mindset is such a key point of any sports, any business, anything you really do. I want to kind of shift the conversation a little bit more to kind of the sport in general. I mean, you came into the Paralympic movement a lot later than some might, right? What needs to happen to kind of grow Paralympics, like youth access, media, pro circuits? I mean, what in your mind, what could grow the sport?
I was actually just had like a 2-hour conversation with the president of the board of USATF and Wallace Spearman. In
Great
he,
guy.
yeah, he's fantastic. Love him. He is
Love
great.
Wallace.
He actually, after watching my 400, to side note real quick, he was like, "Hey, I saw the difference between you two 400s. We were talking about it." And he goes, "I didn't take the 400 seriously when I was running. I don't want you to do the same thing." So he partnered with me and Sharice. He goes, "If we can get some type of goal for you to reach, when you hit it, I got some favors I can pull. I'll get some training sessions with you and my brain's not working right now, with you and Sydney McLaughlin." I was like, don't be playing with me right
Ooh,
now. So I need to actually message him, see how he's doing and what goals he needs me to hit, because
hey,
that is something that would change the game for me.
I got to spend when we were doing the American Track League back in 2020, 21, whatever, indoors at Arkansas. Wallace gave me some incredible food places to eat in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Love them to the death forever because I was there
He's
living in the graduate
fantastic.
hotel for a month, which is that's a whole different story. But what are some things that could
Help.
could help
So
kind of grow?
what we were speaking about is the understanding in the organization itself, for para, because right
Yes,
now they are learning. USATF is learning. They're absorbing the para side and being
right.
able to come together as athletes to be able to have that conscious speaking for each individual impairment and have somebody be a representative to go, hey, this is what we need to do, will allow us, one, to have more word and more power, more say, and have people understand us. I think that
Yes,
understanding within the organization itself will then help ring out and give us those opportunities, more track meets, more broadcasting, more advertising, and just that general ability to increase awareness of parasport. I didn't learn till I was 24.
Right.
I've had mild cerebral palsy my whole life. I could have started early, early. I've been an athlete my whole life. So I think having that type of informational pamphlet, just doctors knowing, hey, this child was born with A, B, and C.
Right.
Here's information for you to reach out to a community, not just to have parasport, but to give families that community of people that understand that it's not going to be the same situation ever. Everybody has a different impairment, a different
Right.
perspective. But knowing that there's people out there that you can talk to that will be able to empathize with you,
Very
that
much so.
alone will help grow the sport. It'll help to grow the understanding and the viewership, because now these people that didn't even know it was a thing have role models to look up to, have these crazy races to watch, have blind long jumps to watch.
Amazing thing to watch.
Yeah.
Amazing thing to watch. I
Um,
remember watching. I remember watching a bunch of the Paris competition and watching you, obviously, but then watching blind individuals long jump blew my mind, blew my wife's mind, and it was almost like, is this actually really happening? I'm like, yeah,
yeah.
phenomenal, phenomenal. Wow.
So it's really about engaging the audience, really about finding the happy medium of, like, when we have nationals, being able to have it accessible for more families, finding that business side to viewership, to where this is the price, this is the average price, this is where you can get it, increasing the knowledge of where to watch things, because that's some of the hardest things, is where can I watch you? Oh, here, there,
Right.
so being more consistent with having, let's say, a specific viewership or a specific broadcaster, to go. It's always going to be with Peacock. It's always going to be with NBC. It's always going to be on the YouTube channel. And like they just made a post today, Para Athletics posted all the Grand Prix, have specialized posts for the Grand Prix, have incentives for people to come to the Grand Prix, so that we have high caliber athletes there. People don't, not they don't want to watch, but people are more likely to watch the best of the world compete against each other in a series and see how that grows. Like when you see Noah Lyles against his competitors, you want to watch that. But if you're seeing the world champion blow out everybody every time because he's not going against people because they're halfway across the world, that's not as fun. So I think not just in America, but being able to establish a network of communication between other countries that have those athletes, that have the competition we want to go against, allows us to go, hey, are you guys going to this Grand Prix? Okay, yeah, we'll go to this Grand Prix as well. Or, oh, we weren't thinking about it, but if you guys go, we'll go. It'll allow us to have more exhilarating competitions that people are going to want to watch. And then it's going to also push the athletes to be better. Because if you are having to run against the best in the world all the time, which I have been, I have to run against Jaden all the time, and it has
Right.
all the time. um, and it's pushed me to hit a 10-8, a 10-8-3. Previously, when I first started, I was running like an 11-2 when I first started this sport. So to be able to already be at 10-8 and pushing myself to be even better is because I have such high competition and I have somebody to push me.
It's a big difference, a big difference for sure. Let's talk sponsorship, because I know that's always, with Olympic athletes, period, always an issue. You just said, people think you come back and they think it's like, the NBA. It's like, hey, they're set for life. But we know that's not the case. What do brands get wrong about partnering with Paralympians, and what does a great partnership look like in the current state, and what it could look like anywhere?
So what a lot of people don't understand is, even like fantastic decorated Paralympians like Ezra French. It took him 2-3 years to get that contract with Adidas. Um, Ezra, good job, but
Yep.
it's hard. It is hard. And then as Paralympians, we also, not to shout out the people giving the sponsorships, but we get lowball, and I understand it is harder to market or get that same viewership towards a para athlete. But if you allow us the ability to be sponsored fully, If you give me the chance, because I work a job, I raise a son, and I train, and I have other family life as well. If you
Right.
just let me train and raise my son, like I might have been first in the world this year. Like, there's so much time
Right.
that we have to dedicate to being able to support ourselves. So a perfect, like if you were going to say for me, a perfect opportunity would it be a sponsorship that allows me to have either they give you the money, the allotment of what they're going to pay you each year or each month, and they allow you to come out for viewership, for engagements, to motivate. I want to motivationally speak, so I want to be like, if I was to sign with Nike, I've been talking with Nike for since last November. They sent me some shoes before India. It was great. And I'm hoping to sign with them. Of course, I need to self talks and fingers crossed. But a opportunity with Nike, I want to show them that I'm more than just an athlete. We're more than just athletes. We're people as well. We have a story. We're able to motivationally speak, inspire others, being able to come out and do your photo shoots and be in these things that will allow us to become a better asset for you. You want to have us, so you want to invest in us so that we can become better versions of ourselves. So then you can use us to our fullest potential. And of course, that takes time sitting down and talking, and people being bold enough to go, no, I'm worth more. And
Right.
that's the scary part, because as Paralympians, we're like, oh, we need help. Or Olympians, we're still like, we need help. We need this much. We would love to have that. So we take what they give us. And I think as athletes, we need to stand firm and go, hey, without athletes, you don't have the sport. So you do need us to help promote your running shoes. You do need us to help promote your clothes and everything like that. Oh yeah. Can you knock on that door? Sorry, the pool the
No,
pool guy came.
no, it's very true. I mean, I think there should be something in that in the contract with the Olympics and Paralympics. It should be mandated that a percentage has to go directly to the athletes, and it can't be like 2%. It has to
Yeah,
be a large percentage. You
that
know,
would be nice.
some administrators, they could take a little bit less, and they'd be completely fine. 100% would be less. So, hey, let's talk about innovations, and let's talk about potential sponsorships potentially. What are some tech or some items that you use on a regular basis to help you kind of get where you're going?
So one of the things I use, I actually have it on right now, is my Whoop. Whoop helps me track everything. My sleep, my stress, my strain. When I need to go to bed, which is a big one. It's like, hey, time to go to sleep.
Absolutely.
I'm like, you're right, time to go to sleep. That helps me. It's very specific on my metrics, and I can sprint with this, I can swim with this, I can shower
Right.
with this. I never take it off. It's fantastic. I also use my Therabody sleep mask. Sleep mask helps to reduce the amount of light pollution while you're sleeping, increasing your melatonin production, which allows you to have better rest. I want some Hyper Rice compression boots. I don't have them. I need them. I'm partnering with Restore Hyper Wellness in El Paso, because
Okay.
they do have the cryo machines. They have the cryo penguin. They have the red light therapy with the platinum LEDs. They have the Hyper Rice compression boots. They have what I need, so I do partner with them, and they're fantastic. I couldn't be more grateful. And not only does the cryo chamber itself get to negative 220 at the advanced setting, it allows me to help with my inflammation, help tighten the skin, because gotta be looking good, and also that mindset,
I love
that
it.
that mindset of, okay, this is 3 minutes. I can do this. Don't look at the time. Just breathe. Feel what you're feeling,
Right.
and it helps sharpen that mind. It helps to calm. I've gotten my heart rate to 34 beats a minute in there. Yeah, it's gone almost a beat every 2 seconds. What else? I have my Theragun. Yeah, I have a Theragun as well. That thing's amazing. I use Chirp's RPM roller.
Okay.
For an athlete that after I am done training, my body doesn't want to listen anymore, to have an electric roller, it's noted so that it rolls for you. It is stupendous. Um, Potential sponsorships, I would definitely love to sponsor with Therabody or Hyper Rice, to get some of those compressions. Nutrition as well. I've been trying to talk with Huel because Huel is important. Recovery, nutrition, and training is really what you're looking for as an athlete. For recovery, I would definitely be going with Hyper-Rice to be able to get those compression boots, to be able to use the Therabody and Theragun so that I can get the recovery I need and the compression I need. For training, I would love to sponsor with Nike. Those are the spikes I use. They sent me some spikes for my 400. They do not slide. I'll tell you what, my 100-meter ones around the curve, because they're a bit different and my feet are wide, I can feel my feet moving in them a little bit, but my 400 ones, I'll tell you what,
I
they
love it.
stay sturdy.
I love
And
it.
then lastly, nutrition. I would definitely partner with something like Huel or Isopure, something that has whole foods in it.
Mhm.
It is lab tested to make sure, because as an athlete, whatever I put in my body is my responsibility. I take a P test every other month or every month, and I would hate to be sponsoring with somebody that isn't third party tested. That mindset of, can I take this protein shake, is more on you than you would think. That, hey, if they're not being honest, I could lose my ability, my records, everything that I've done, because
Yes.
I trusted somebody I shouldn't have. So partnering with a nutrition supplement would be fantastic as well, because it would take a little bit of that out of the equation.
I was going to say, we just companies, you need to listen up. You need to take this notes. You got to get out and reach out. Absolutely. Cause Ryan needs your help and, getting ready for the next cycle. Hey, absolutely. All right.
Yes.
We're going to wrap things up with our rapid fire wrap up. And I'm going to give you a question. You give me what comes to mind right away and we'll go from there. All
All
right.
right.
Ready? Pre-race hype song.
Um, I know what it is. My brain's not working right now. It
How's it go?
is. I'll be one of the greatest ever. It's the King's Affirmation. There it is.
Awesome.
King's Affirmation.
Awesome. All right. You already mentioned it, but favorite recovery tool that you actually use now.
I would definitely say the Chirp RPM, rolling out my calves. It hurts, but since I don't have to put in effort, I do it.
There you go. Most underrated drill that you do in training.
Most underrated drill is just definitely going to be the 30, 60, 90 dribbles. Those suck, but they
Mhm.
get the job done.
Absolutely. Paris, favorite event or competition that you watch?
Paris, favorite competition for para or for able body?
Doesn't
Either
matter.
one. The long jump. Derek Loxton and the long jump there. Long jump with the amputees is just phenomenal to watch. They jump so far. Um, but honestly, any of my teammates, whenever they race, it's stupendous. There's I get more nervous for them than I get for myself. So
I can appreciate that. Dream venue that you would love to race or compete in.
Tokyo or Dubai, I heard is fantastic. But Tokyo, I love Japan. And send me there as many times as you want.
I absolutely love it. All right, final question. One sentence of advice that you would give to a young adaptive athlete just getting started.
Stay curious. That is going to be my one thing. Be open to learning. That curiosity. How can I be better? And giving yourself grace, and the fact that you are pushing yourself to your limits, having your impairment, allows you to grow. You always want to grow, day by day, whether or not it's a little bit, 2 steps back, 2 steps forward. You always are going to take that day and try to be better in that moment. So you're never the same person. Every decision you make, every thought that you have changes your perspective of the world and changes you as a person. So take that and understand that you are ever changing, and use that as a superpower. It's fantastic.
That's amazing advice, Ryan. Man, some powerful insights without question. Hey, thanks for pulling the curtain back a little bit and kind of giving a little bit of you, the genuine you. I think it's always amazing, and talking about the Paralympic movement, much appreciated. Also talking about the sponsorship game and some of that. Where can they reach you? Where can somebody reach you if they want to get a motivational talk or just partner with you?
So if you want to partner with me, easy reach out, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, mostly Instagram, and it's going to be fast_track182. My email, if you want to email me, is going to be ryanmdrn@icloud. Then my agent is Lizzie. I'd have to look at her last name. Lizzie, you'll see her on my Instagram as well. You can just look up Lizzie for my followers.
Awesome.
But I'll also put her information in my bio if you ever want to reach out to her, if I'm busy. But yeah, I do motivational speaking engagements. I also do training for athletes as well. So whatever you guys need, I'm looking to get experience and really get that inspiration out there.
Oh man, Ryan, we appreciate it tremendously, and hope you've been listening. You've enjoyed another episode of Just a Cup. Hey, make sure you follow and subscribe YouTube on the Bleav Network. Big thanks to Iron Faith Nutrition for powering the show. I'm Bryan Fetzer. Remember, performance is simple. It's not easy. Be blessed until the next time. Have a great one.